Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. It's so great to have you all here with me. Thank you for joining. Give yourselves props for showing up for your marketing today, taking time out of your day to learn how you can improve your marketing to get more leads and turn those leads into customers. We have a ton of content to get through, and I can't wait to dive in. But I do want to give folks another couple minutes to join and get situated here. And I also want to make sure that everyone is comfortable using the GoToWebinar question box feature within your attendee panel. Now, that will essentially be your chat feature for the day. So while there isn't an ability to chat to me or to other attendees, you can use the question box feature to ask me questions throughout the webinar and toss in your questions as we go. So type into that question box, say hello, let me know where you're calling in from today. I'll call out some of the answers. So go ahead, try using that question box. Let me know where you're calling in from. One of the great things about these webinars is they join people from all different corners of the world. We're all in different time zones, different areas, different workspaces, but we all have that one common goal of improving our marketing. And oh my gosh, there's a ton of people already in here, already saying hello. I'm based in Boston, Massachusetts, actually Salem, Massachusetts, where the historical Salem witch trials were held, if you're familiar with that. So it's always a really exciting place to live. I live right by the ocean. I love it. And I'm seeing a few people from Mass and New England in here too. So it's great to see you all. We have Sandy from Sarasota, Florida. We have William from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We have Vanessa from Kentucky. Hi, Vanessa. We have Lizzie from Cincinnati, Ohio. Deborah from Guardian Pet Trust over in Boca Raton, Florida. Hello. Jack from New Jersey. Hello, Jack. Tons of people typing in. I wish I could call out every single one of you. And thank you for participating in that. It's so great. There weren't a lot of areas that I called out twice here. So it's always a nice feeling to just think about everyone who's on this call, even though we're in different spots of the world. So feel free to use that question box feature throughout today's presentation. We do have a few housekeeping items to cover first. So if you all notice, I did answer, I think, one person in the chat here on this question, but please note that this webinar will be recorded. So you will get the materials in your inbox later today, a copy of the slides along with a copy of the recording. And you can also easily find this webinar recording along with all of our past webinar recordings on the WordStream and LocaliQ YouTube channels. So please don't worry about taking notes or anything like that. You will be able to access this recording later. And I did mention you'll get some materials in your inbox. And another reason why I had you all use that question box feature as you joined is, again, I want you to feel comfortable to ask your questions throughout. We also always do a Q&A session at the end of every webinar. If you've attended any of our past webinars, you know they're a really unique opportunity to get your questions answered in what feels like a one-on-one setting. So while I'll try to answer as many questions as I go, be sure to add your questions throughout, save some questions for the end. And if I don't get to your question, we'll try and cover it in that Q&A portion at the end of the webinar. So for everyone on this call, I just want to get us on the same page as to who LocaliQ is, to introduce ourselves here. Now, some of you might be already working with us, and that's awesome. Some of you might be totally new to us, and that's great. And some of you might be more familiar with our legacy brands, WordStream and Reach Local. So for everyone on this call, I want you to understand that LocaliQ is a fully integrated growth marketing platform that gives businesses like yours the tools it needs to thrive and prosper, to attract and retain the right customers at the right time. So we are an all-in-one digital marketing platform that creates data-backed decisions and marketing campaign optimizations informed by over 5.2 million campaigns. So that's data that you really can't find anywhere else. We provide you with a personalized approach with local marketing experts who know your industry in and out. And we have lead management with the help of AI for faster follow-up and conversion. So today's webinar is all about leads. So we'll definitely be talking about that as well. One thing that we're really proud of here at LocaliQ is we are a advertising partner with all the major marketing and advertising platforms. Now, this isn't just given to any marketing platform out there. We have to hit a rigorous set of requirements to maintain these partnerships, and it's really only given to marketing platforms that show proven campaign improvement and performance for their customers and clients. So we're really excited about that and just really proud to share that. And how exactly our platform helps you thrive. So we kind of marry that unparalleled expertise along with the innovative technology that we have powered by our AI platform Dash to help you convert your leads and turn those leads into real long lasting customers and loyal customers. We also offer CRM integrations with many CRMs to help you be able to crunch your data and analyze your data, nurture your leads, and so on. And we're going to go into all of that into detail today. So again, we're kind of one partner that gives you everything you need just all at your fingertips. So we have everything you need to help you find new leads, which is always the first step into getting more customers, and getting those leads to help to easily find you throughout the web and through your digital marketing channels, and also then turning those leads into customers and nurturing them through your buyer's journey. So a little bit about me, the person that's been talking to you for the past 10 minutes. It's wonderful to meet you all. My name is Susie. I'll be your webinar host and facilitator for today. I'm a senior content marketing specialist over at Local IQ, where I write everything under the digital marketing sun. I write about all different types of educational content around digital marketing for the WordStream and Local IQ blogs, including things like PPC, SEO, display ads, email marketing, and so on. How I got into this role, I was formerly a digital marketing consultant over at WordStream, where I was coaching businesses and folks like many of the people on this call through the day-to-day best practices within the digital marketing landscape. So on platforms like Google Ads and Facebook ads and so on. So I took that real life experience and applied it to the educational content that I create today. As I mentioned, I'm based near Boston, Massachusetts. I love it. I love New England. I'm really excited for the summer season here because I'm right by the ocean. And if you want to just see more of my work, you can follow me on LinkedIn or Twitter or X as we call it now. And I do share out any important articles that we're releasing, things like that. I also want to give a preview to our guest speaker for today, who is joining us in a bit for the second part of this webinar. Alex Hunsucker is joining us. I'm really excited to have him on. He's the Senior Vice President and Chief Product Officer over here at Local IQ. He has a ton of background and experience in the digital marketing space. In fact, over 20 years building digital products. In his free time, he loves to go to the park, spend time with his dog, Bruce. You can follow him on LinkedIn. Definitely check him out. He has tons of insight and expertise to share, and I'm so excited and honored to have him here with me today. A really common question we get asked on these webinars is, how can you learn more about the topics we cover here? Where can you learn more about the solutions that Local IQ provides? And honestly, this hour is going to fly by. So if you ever feel like you need a little bit more time with any of the content that we cover here, we cover everything that we cover in these webinars in depth on the Local IQ and WordStream blogs. So navigate over to our website, hop onto our blog, and that way you can spend time in an article reading more in depth into any of the topics we cover here. Also, please be sure to follow us on social media. You can find Local IQ on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or X, and YouTube. And then WordStream on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, and YouTube as well. We share out platform updates that advertisers should be aware of, up and coming new articles, success stories, things like that. If you want to join more webinars like this in the future, you can also learn more about those and join those right from our social channels as well. Also, I will call out our YouTube channels are called out here. Again, these webinars will be recording, and you can find the recordings for all of our webinars on the YouTube channels there if you want to catch up on any of the ones that you missed or on this one. So if you attended any of our past webinars, you know I love to keep our attendees on their toes. And I just want to kind of test the waters here and just do a quick pulse check for how we're feeling about this topic today. So let me know, go ahead and type in a question here. What is your biggest obstacle that's stopping you from hitting your lead target right now? What are, some of the challenges you might be facing when it comes to lead gathering or nurturing? I'll call out some of the answers in here. So type in that question box. Let me know your biggest challenges, even your biggest concerns. Or, there might be some folks on this call at a totally different end of the spectrum where you're more looking to, expand a really thriving strategy, and that's okay too. So no matter your industry, no matter, where you're at in the, your marketing journey, I just want to, do a quick pulse check here. And tons of responses already coming in. Some folks saying that their industry is too specific or they're feeling like there isn't enough volume. Definitely understandable. Marcy says she feels like she's not being found on Google, which can definitely halt your lead generation strategy. Joseph made a funny joke here. He says evil spirits, totally fair. Sandra says a website. Websites are huge to your lead generation strategy, so that can definitely be tricky too. Deborah says instead of taking our lead magnet, users are trying to sell me something. Definitely can be confusing. Jaren says marketing saturation, consumer hesitation, definitely valid concerns here. And Susan seems like she's in the education industry. She says students stop responding when it is time to commit. That's fair too. So seems like there's some different variations in the issues that you all are facing. If you notice, not a lot of the answers that I called out were the same. And I wish I could call out every single one of your answers. Thanks for participating in that. But what I will say is, there are some concerns with, just generating those leads and then also nurturing and converting those leads. So we're going to address all of that today. But again, everyone's situation is unique. So while we're going to talk through some general tips and best practices throughout this webinar, think about how it can be applying to your unique situation, right? So no two businesses are going to have the exact same digital marketing strategy, and that's okay. So just to get us on track for what we're going to cover today, we're going to talk first about how you can get more leads, which is, of course, the most important part. And then arguably just equally as important, how you can convert those leads, measure them, and then also use AI to help you do all of that. And then we'll jump into that live Q&A session that I alluded to. So let's first talk about how to get more leads. And I cannot wait to talk about this because I feel like it's so important, right? So one of the first most major channels that many businesses use to get more leads is social media. So social media marketing is, kind of a given that it's going to work. If you're worried that your audience isn't on social media, odds are they are, as 94% of all internet users are using social media. So you could create conversational videos or educational content to cater to your target market, your target audience, to create a sense of increased authority and make potential customers trust you a bit more or more willing to become a lead with you. You could also use some search engine optimization, which is, of course, optimizing your site content and your content across the web to show up on search engine results pages such as Google or Bing. So through search engine optimization, you're focusing on improving your website's rankings, and that can significantly increase your online visibility and the number of leads that you're able to get. Now, in this example here, for example, let's say I was looking up yoga studios, best yoga studios in Kansas City. Well, Google gave me 3 results, complete with directions, contact information, and hours of operation. Those 3 results are kind of called the local pack, and they get most of the traffic. It also showed several results outside of local pack, but these websites optimize their pages for best yoga studios in Kansas City. This is because they recognized it as an important keyword. By optimizing for this keyword, they allowed themselves to generate foot traffic and leads in the form of inbound calls and online inquiries. So this can be really important, and I know some folks definitely call this out as a challenge. So we'll continue to talk through this, but this is a great channel for leads. Equally as important for generating leads along with search engine optimization is, of course, search ads. And we call search ads kind of that faucet that you turn on because as you're putting that budget behind that campaign, you're able to quickly generate more traffic and leads. So, of course, the average return for PPC is $2 for every $1 spent. So you're going to kind of see an increased ROI when you are running search ads. Now, however, we know that AI is rapidly changing this search landscape, and you see that in this example here, with some AI overviews. There's a lot going on the search engine results page, right? So, those off the top of your head keywords, those high value, high intent keywords are going to end up being a little bit on the pricier side. So you just have to balance, what keywords are going to drive you the most leads in combination with hitting the right people at the right time with that audience targeting. And then, of course, optimizing your account based on your own benchmarks and your own performance goals and KPIs, which might look different, depending on your business, your sales cycle, and so on. So, don't be concerned if necessarily if you're not seeing leads coming directly from your search ads. Are they supplementing other marketing channels that could be pulling you leads, right? Are they generating awareness and so on? So there's a lot that you could consider here when it comes to using search ads for generating leads, but we did just want to call that out. Now, of course, when I'm talking about search ads, I'm not just talking about Google ads. Go beyond Google for search. So, of course, you guys know there are other search engines besides Google, right? So we have, while Google ads is an integral part of a successful search advertising strategy, you can actually get better results by running your search ads across multiple platforms, including Microsoft and even Yelp. So Microsoft ads, formerly known as Bing ads, have been shown to have higher conversion rates, and the average Bing user has a higher average income than the average Google user. But running ads across both search engines gives you the access to more inventory, meaning you have more opportunities for clicks and conversions, or those leads that we're all chasing. So if you're running search advertising already or getting ready to run them for the first time, make sure to run your ads on both Google and Microsoft and optimize your budget for placements and keywords that work best for each platform. Now, if you're a local IQ customer, you're already doing this. Our technology is publisher agnostic, meaning it automatically spreads your search budget across the platforms that are performing best and will give you the most leads. So we're really excited about that. Now, along with that, you can also do some retargeting here. Now, personalizing your retargeting efforts can appeal to new customers more than a standard display ad that just follows them around. So you might need to diversify your ads beyond just the standard search text ads based on specific services a user viewed on your site. For example, people who have shown interest but not converted. So retargeting can be a really effective strategy within social ads, search ads, and more to really secure more leads, because you're staying top of mind to potentially interested customers by showing ads to them again as they surf the web after they visited your site. Now, you could also just generally focus on your content creation to help generate more leads as well. So creating and sharing valuable content helps to establish authority and trust. This is a powerful tool for SEO or search engine optimization, driving traffic to your website and generating leads. So you want to address your audience's questions, challenges, and interests. Be thinking about those customer pain points, right? And if you create content relevant to your target audience, they will engage with you, ask questions, and sign up for your offers, effectively turning them into marketing leads that you can nurture. And you might also want to be looking to your competitors when you're thinking about how to get more leads. What are your competitors running in terms of ads? The Google Ads Transparency Center, along with the Facebook Ads Library, are both really helpful tools to see what type of ads are running in your industry for keywords that relate to your industry and so on. You could also search for your competitors in Google, check out their website, see what they post on social media, see what kind of content they're creating. Of course, if we could all get a direct look at inside our competitors' Google Ads account, that would make things so much easier, but we can't do that, right? So looking at what they have public facing that they've already published just to kind of gauge how your strategy compares to theirs is a great tool when it comes to generating leads. And you might need to be looking beyond what's the most popular or most given go-to channel is for generating leads for your business. I've often found when working with businesses over time, they stick to a few channels that they feel like are tried and true. But at the end of the day, the digital marketing landscape is constantly evolving and changing. So if you feel like one particular platform or channel isn't working for you anymore, or isn't working how you wanted it to, that's totally normal and okay. Just think about other platforms or channels that you can incorporate to supplement or fill in those gaps from that one platform. If there was one end all be all platform that would do it all for us and get all the leads that we wanted, again, this would be too easy and we wouldn't be here right now. So it's totally okay to have multiple platforms. In fact, it's encouraged. It's called having a cross-channel strategy, where you're incorporating multiple marketing channels to cover all your bases. And that kind of gives you that backup plan that I talk about a lot in webinars too, where it's like you always want to have a backup plan and be thinking, all right, if my campaign on this particular platform does work, great. What am I going to do to scale it up? Am I going to let it cruise? Am I going to try a different channel? Or if it doesn't, am I running campaigns on other channels that are gonna, cover my butt and still get me those leads that I need? So that's why it's really important to have a cross-channel strategy, which of course we help our customers do just that. Some of those platforms that might not be a given that you should definitely try out include TikTok, Spotify, and Reddit. You can actually run ads on all three of these platforms, and I think a lot of businesses tend to forget that. And they can be really helpful depending on your target audience. For example, if you're an e-commerce business, TikTok can kind of feel like a no-brainer these days. Versus Spotify ads are actually proven to be very effective. So if you want to do some personalized targeting, they do log into Spotify through their Facebook account. So many users are frequently using Spotify, and that's a great avenue to go to. And then of course Reddit, I feel like we're all even noticing Reddit maybe more and more on the search engine results page. So more and more folks might be gravitating towards Reddit, and it is the third most visited website in the US. So definitely another route to get you more leads. Another way you could get leads is asking for referrals. So it seems, I know it sounds easier said than done, but when it is the right time, ask customers maybe after they've just made a purchase to write a review, create a referral, send to a friend deals, things like that. Just be sure that you have concrete ways to track this. So for example, you might do some QR code marketing and have a QR code that users can scan and easily provide your business with a review or a referral. And you can have like a tracking link on that. And also be sure to thank their efforts, respond to every review, which I know is hard, even the negative ones, which I know we all don't want to respond to, but those are the most important ones to respond to. So every single review, try to write a quick response, even if it's a canned response, even if it's just a thank you. But that just shows that other people that are reviewing your reviews, that you do care and that you are reading them. So I think customers do care about that. There's a ton of statistics to back that up. So it's a really powerful lever as well. So I hope you feel like you have a few more ideas of how you could get leads. Well, let's talk about how you can then convert those leads. So lead segmentation is kind of the first part of it. So as you're getting those leads coming in, you want to be using AI to help you get back to the most important leads first. So you could categorize not just by source, but by using AI to look for signals that will help you prioritize those that require follow-up and those that are unlikely to convert. We even go further to identify calls that discuss important conversion points, like when pricing is discussed. Now, we do help folks do that automatically. AI can help you if it's analyzing your calls, for example. It'll tell you when pricing came up and things like that. But lead segmentation can really help you nurture and understand which leads are of high value versus which are not. You also want to be running a diversified advertising strategy. Now, I already kind of talked about this with that cross-channel, multi-channel approach here. But again, your audience expands beyond a single search platform. That's why we provide diversified advertising targeting solutions. We leverage your data to reach customers across various channels in addition to Google, whether they are actively searching for businesses like yours or we are creating demand through targeted brand awareness. We are there. We maximize reach and leads with a suite of integrations, publisher-specific optimizations, and our proprietary cross-media technology tailored to your vertical. We engage your audience wherever they are on Google and on other advertising platforms. Now, you also want to be considering your lead scoring strategy. Ideally, each lead should be assigned a lead score that gets updated every time the user performs an action. So lead scoring is the practice of assigning an incoming contact a numerical value based on their demographic information or behaviors relating to your brand. It allows for your sales and marketing teams, be it one person, multiple people, or however you're handling your leads now, but it allows you to have the ability to quickly identify the lead's likeliness to convert at this time and place in the marketing funnel. So lead scoring helps ensure that you're responding to each incoming contact with the most impactful content or action for their needs and for your business, whatever that might be. So what types of businesses can benefit from lead scoring? Well, really any business out there could use lead scoring to their advantage, but typically some examples of industries that do lean on lead scoring are B2B businesses, real estate, e-commerce, financial services, marketing agencies, healthcare services, higher education, and more. And a little pro tip, be sure to tap into AI. It can really apply to any of these practices here, but AI can definitely help you, no matter your industry, score your leads. For example, our Dash lead management software automatically applies a lead score to your leads for you. Now, along with lead scoring, you also want to be considering your lead qualification. Now, that means qualifying the leads as they come in to help you determine your next course of action. Some marketing leads become MQLs by accumulating a higher score over time, while others come in hot as MQLs. That's why you need a lead management strategy to assess each lead and decide where it belongs. When a person fills out a form to inquire about a service, engages with you on live chat to ask about pricing, or signs up for a demo, they are a qualified lead from the start and they are already in the buying stage of their journey. So qualified leads are ready to purchase. And so your communication with them will be about the features and pricing of your product or services. Unqualified leads are not ready to make purchases, so your next action would be to nurture them. And speaking of lead nurturing, most marketing leads aren't ready to buy, right? So lead nurturing is a huge part of your strategy. And you need to be building trust with those leads through emails, newsletters, any types of like personalized content, and try to address those specific interests or customer pain points that I mentioned earlier, right? So kind of an example lead nurture via email sequence here on the right, thinking about, okay, maybe they've downloaded a white paper, a guide, whatever it may be, and then sending them more helpful information that relates to what they initially downloaded, and then creating more content. Potentially you're hosting a webinar, whether it be virtual pre-recorded or live or, whatever it may be. Potentially you have some success stories or reviews to share with them. You send that along. And then eventually they do end up, booking that demo or becoming a warmer lead. Some more ways to nurture your leads. Again, you're going to be maybe sending those customized emails. You can also try and keep in touch via phone, create special offers or discounts that are exclusive to them, provide valuable information through things like blogs, ebooks, webinars, guides, and share success stories. Case studies and testimonials can be very powerful in converting more of your leads. So definitely another thing that I like to call out is just reviews, case studies, testimonials are just a really nice touch to any lead nurture strategy. In fact, 91% of customers are more likely to shop from brands that provide them with relevant recommendations and offers. So again, once they're interested, if you kind of keep feeding them, a few discounts, exclusive codes, things like that from there, they'll be more likely to become a customer with you. So now you have your leads coming in, you're nurturing them. How do you keep track of all this? How do you measure it? Let's discuss that. So when it comes to lead tracking, you want to just be considering, potentially, like I mentioned before, some QR code marketing, any sort of CRM integrations that will help you, track and organize your data. Also be considering like other audience factors, what devices these leads are coming in from. You could use things like Google Tag Manager and tag your site so that you can track across entities like Google Analytics and Google Ads. You could also monitor your leads coming in at real time and A/B test and track your results. So you might be A/B testing some of your lead magnets. That can be another way to just make sure you're on the right track. And one thing that I would recommend here is potentially scheduling like regular check-ins to keep yourself on track and consistent with your reporting methods. Also, be sure that you know which metrics matter to you when it comes to your lead strategy. So, for example, we do release information on key metrics for advertisers on major platforms like Google Ads, Bing Ads, and Facebook Ads every year. We actually have our Google Ads benchmarks coming out very soon, so I'm really excited about that for 2025. But here's an example of some of the benchmark data that you could use from last year's reports. And these can be really helpful to just kind of know a baseline of how you're doing with your lead strategy. compared to the competitors in your industry and what trends you should expect. And you want to be thinking about what metrics matter most to you here, right? So not every metric is going to mean the same thing to every business. Some of the metrics that I will call out here, for example, conversion rate. This is the most direct indicator of success usually. It measures the percentage of traffic that converts into a lead. A high conversion rate means that your lead generation strategies are effective. Another big one, or the money metric, as I love to call it, is cost per lead. This metric calculates the cost effectiveness of your marketing campaigns. It is determined by dividing the total cost of your marketing efforts by the number of leads generated. So tracking CPL, cost per lead, helps you with budgeting and identifying which channels are most cost effective. Now, also be thinking about time to conversion. Track the average time it takes for a lead to move from the initial contact to becoming a customer. This will help in your optimizing your lead nurture strategy. Lead source effectiveness is also another thing you could track. So, analyzing which marketing channels, social media, email, content marketing, and so on bring in the most and highest quality leads for your business. This will help allocate resources to the most productive channels. And again, I would say don't sleep on those other metrics that maybe I didn't necessarily call out here. That could be high indicators of your lead strategy, right? So one example that I love to call out is click-through rate. I feel like a lot of businesses sleep on click-through rate because it's not like one of the money metrics, right? It doesn't directly correlate necessarily to, your cost per click. I mean, there are direct correlations, but people at first glance assume, all right, I'm more concerned about cost per click, cost per lead, return on ad spend, like, conversion rate. How fast am I getting these leads? How much are they costing me? But you kind of need to look at the whole picture here when it comes to your metrics. So again, like with click-through rate, if your click-through rate is low, that's the first problem when it comes to your lead strategy, because you need to get people clicking on your ads in order for them to actually take action and convert into a lead. So just one example there. Be considerate of all the potential metrics that you can measure and track before you jump into one. I think it can be really easy to fixate on just one or two metrics, but that's not necessarily what you want to do. So speaking more about reporting here, again, you want to be thinking about ways that you can analyze your data that makes the most sense to you. So that way you can make data backed decisions to improve your ROI. So think about what are your best channels, any sort of demographic insights. Now, our marketing dashboard, again, does all of this reporting for you. And that's kind of the most important part of marketing, is finding a method of reporting that works for you. One that's easy to read, easy to access, one that you can check in consistently. If any of the folks on this call are advertising directly in the native Google Ads UI or Facebook Ads UI, Meta Ads UI, we know that it's not always the clearest or the cleanest reporting in there. There's a lot of different reporting options, a lot of ways that you could alter your reports too that can skew what you're looking at. So finding a reporting method that works for you is really important. Again, choosing the metrics that make the most sense for your campaign goals. So again, if my campaign is primarily for brand awareness, then I should be looking at impressions. I don't need to necessarily worry about conversion rate or cost per lead yet on a brand awareness campaign, right? So just be thinking about your campaign purpose and goals and set your expectations accordingly. Again, platform specific reports or a third party marketing dashboard, like the example you're seeing here, to aggregate all your digital data can really be a huge asset when it comes to optimizing your lead strategy. So that brings me to, using AI to do it all. And there is a ton that we can cover here. And because of that, I'm going to hand it over to Alex, who is our guest speaker for today. Alex, take it away. Thanks for joining.
Thanks, Susie. Hi, everybody. Really excited to be here. I'm always excited to talk to current and future customers. And what I wanted to talk to you a little about today is, as Susie mentioned, talking about AI. We use AI in a lot of ways at Local IQ, and we have something really exciting to show you today. It'll be the first time we've actually shown it publicly, so you guys are the first folks who are going to get to see this live out in the market. And I'll get through this quickly because I want you folks to see it. But I wanted to touch on a point that really helped us develop some of these new products that I want to show you. Just this last year, a report came out that 62% of marketers and small businesses say that client acquisition is their top goal. And that seems like, well, of course it is. Of course you want new customers, right? But it's an interesting stat in that it's up 12% from 2024. So that's quite a big jump, and I think that there are several factors at play that are worth diving into a bit as we talk about where we're headed and how you can make the most of your lead acquisition strategy. So if you want to go to the next slide, Susie. First and foremost, and I'm sure you folks are seeing it yourselves, I think customers are less loyal to brands than they used to be, especially at the small business level in the local community. And I think that's a lot due to the inflation we're seeing, right? The price of eggs are going up. The price of all goods are going up. And so, as a customer, I'm sure you do it as well. Now, when I need something, if it's an emergency or if I just need, landscaping or whatever, I'm going to Google and I'm going to go down that list and I'm going to start making phone calls or I'm going to start reaching out via email because I'm looking for the best deal, right? Money's tight, prices are going up. So it's really imperative for a small business to get new customers in the way that they can't drive the same brand loyalty they used to have. And then on the flip side of that, I know that you see it as well, not just the price of eggs, but the price of goods to deliver your services to the market are going up as well. So how do you do that? How do you offset those costs without raising the cost in your current customer? You get new customers, right? Or you look for new ways to convert the leads you have coming in, right? And so that's really where we wanted to take the product. How do we do a better job as Local IQ of not just acquiring leads for you, but helping you convert the ones that you have? So if you want to go to the next slide there, Susie, we use AI to look at a lot across our product. And we have millions of phone calls that AI analyzes as they come into your website, as they come to our customers' websites, all of our SMS chats. We look at all of that information. And the staggering thing that we saw was that 30% of all calls and almost 40% or more of SMS and website chats never go answered by a business, right? And why is that? You're in the field, you're talking to another customer live, you're sleeping, right? So how do you take those customers who have a sense of urgency and are looking for the best deal? How do you take those customers and make sure that you can talk to them, you can answer them, you can get their questions answered, you can qualify them as a lead, and you can convert them into a paying customer? So now, instead of constantly looking at the top of the funnel and trying to find new customers, you can convert more of what you have. Imagine if you no longer had to miss 30% of those calls of all those leads coming in, you can make sure everybody is answered. So that's really what we set out to do, is how can we solve that problem for you to give you time to spend time with your customers on site, or make sure that you get the sleep that you need, or focus on all the other problems you have as a business owner. And that's where we came up with our Dash AI agents. If you want to go to the next slide there, Susie, our Dash AI agents really help take the leads that come in and convert them for you. And they do that in a couple of ways. The first thing is we're a multi-channel solution. So these AI agents represent you when you can't be there, whether it's on website chat, whether it's via SMS, or whether it's via phone. And these AI agents, unlike a call center or a chatbot, they learn about your business through your website and other content to make sure they can represent you from a product perspective, from a pricing perspective, and ensure that those leads don't get missed or fall through the floor and they go to your competitor. So effectively what would happen if you are not available, you're not available to respond to an SMS, you're not available to respond to a phone call, you can flip that AI agent on. That AI agent will then talk directly to the customer. And as you'll see, it's not like traditional chatbots. The customer can actually engage with them, ask questions. That bot will follow up and respond. And eventually we'll be able to convert those customers to a payment if you need a service call payment or a scheduled event, right? So we want to take all that and just let you focus on servicing your customers and providing the best experience for your business. And Local IQ won't just take those leads, find those leads for you. It will take those qualified leads and convert them for you all the way through. So we're really excited about that. I won't belabor the point any longer. What I would love to do is show you a demo of this, and then we can take some questions and talk about it.
Hello, I'm an AI agent. How can I assist you today? Could you please tell me your name?
Hi, this is Candice.
Hi, Candice. Thank you for sharing your name. What brings you to call us today?
I'm having some trouble with my AC. Do you do air conditioner repairs at my location?
I'm so sorry to hear that you're having trouble with your AC, Candice. Can you please tell me a little bit more about your location so I can see if we service your area?
Sure, I'm at Lenoir City.
Candice, we do service the Lenoir City area. What seems to be the issue with your air conditioning?
I'm not seeing any errors, but my bedroom is cooling down okay. It's just my living room is not.
That sounds like a frustrating issue, Candace. Can you tell me a bit more about your air conditioning system, like how old it is and if you've had any recent maintenance done on it?
Yeah, it's Central Air. It's only 3 years old. And recently, I have replaced the air filter about a month ago.
Okay, so the system is relatively new and you've recently replaced the air filter. That's great. Have you noticed any other issues like uneven airflow or noises coming from the vents? Or is it just the temperature difference between the bedroom and living room?
No, just the temperature difference.
I'd like to help you get to the bottom of this issue, Candace. I'm going to go ahead and collect some information from you so a team member can follow up with you to schedule a repair. Would you prefer to be contacted by phone or email?
Great, and that is a live AI agent. That AI agent used one of our customer websites. It analyzed the website itself. It used the FAQ and other information available so it could represent you and help get to the bottom of the issue. Now, all of that information is then put into our dash system so that when you are ready to respond back to that customer, you have everything that was discussed on the call, you understand the problem that they were facing, and then you can go and convert that customer and get moving to help them along. So no leads lost, even while you're sleeping, and that's the goal we have.
Amazing, Alex. Thank you so much for sharing. I loved that
Hello, I'm an
demo, and I just really thought that was so interesting to learn from, and it was so cool to see it happen and like that real example. It's pretty amazing. So, with that, I know that we covered a ton of information here. I am going to launch a quick poll on the screen here. It's going to take over your screen. But if you feel like you're ready to leverage the power of AI in your digital marketing, have more questions about the topics we covered here, feel free to hit yes in that poll to speak with a marketing expert and get a free marketing assessment. You can speak with an expert just like Alex to talk you through all of these best practices and all of these different capabilities that things like Dash have to offer. While we leave that poll up, just go ahead and answer that poll, then sit back and relax for the audio portion of the webinar. We're going to switch gears into Q&A for the last few minutes here, and Alex is so kindly staying on to answer your questions. So if you have questions for Alex, have saved some of your questions to the end, definitely type them into that question box now. I saw we got a ton coming in, so be sure to add your questions as we dig into the Q&A portion here. Alex, I will say I did see a few coming in throughout the webinar. A couple of people called out for you to please answer. You know, a lot of them said that they are using CRMs to kind of manage and feed their data into, you know, their marketing platforms. And they were just curious, you know, does Look Like You's marketing platform integrate with their CRM? There was just a lot of questions around CRMs and CRMs integrations. So I was just wondering if you could maybe speak on that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something we've really evolved to at Local IQ as our customers have evolved because we know the importance of a CRM. The way it works with us is we're able to actually use that CRM data to help optimize across all of our publishers and drive better conversions, right? So we want to identify better leads for you based off the information and the type of customers you have in your CRM. We integrate directly with a host of CRMs across a lot of different verticals. And then additionally, we're able to actually, which is really important, to take that first party data and be able to present that directly back to the customer. So I see a question about what is a CRM? Customer relationship management platform. So it really helps convert on the other side. So there are a lot of vertical specific CRMs that really take those leads, nurture them, and help you convert and track them over time, right? So that CRM data is vital. It's something that Google has really started to roll out recently, and we're at the forefront of partnering with Google on this to take that first party data, provide it back to Google and our other publishers, so that you can identify those customers when they come back through various channels and bring them back into your system and either create the first sale or another sale, right? So as cookies go away, first party data becomes more and more important.
Thank you for answering that, Alex. That was a super thorough answer, and I love that you covered, you know, both what it like the basics of what is a CRM, because it definitely is confusing to how it could properly integrate with solutions like LocaliQ's Dash and so on. A few folks also asked about just like how to manage, you know, leads that aren't fully following through. Any sort of recommendations for when you're getting leads, but then they're going cold or, you know, potentially not, you know, making it through that full sales cycle. potentially dropping off. Anything that you could recommend there that we hadn't already covered? I definitely think, a tool like Dash could help, kind of just talk those potentially colder leads through becoming more of a warmer lead. Any other thoughts there?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think first and foremost, we know that all leads are not created equal, right? So what we want to make sure that we're doing is identifying which leads are best for you. So we use our lead scoring first and foremost to help you understand which of those leads you should be really focused on. Because if you've got 10 leads and you don't have an understanding of who's really serious and who's really not, or frankly, what's worth your time and energy and what's not, is it in the location you're in? Is it a bigger opportunity than a smaller one? So first and foremost, we want to make sure that we score and prioritize those leads so you know which ones to focus on and figure out who a real viable customer is. So I think that's point number one, and also just the ability to understand, what the sense of urgency is around some of these customers and who's not. So some of those ones that may take a little longer to convert, the AI will also analyze what was discussed on that call, and then use our tools like our email and our SMS tools to continue to reach out and nurture to them over time. So really the idea here is let's take all these wonderful leads you're getting in, start to break them down and categorize them for you so you don't have to do that hard work, and then prioritize your leads for you so that you know who to focus on and who to nurture over time.
Beautiful. Thank you for answering that as well. Tons more questions coming in here. Questions around, the voice AI feature within Dash, how it could be potentially easier for customers than, interacting with a chatbot. Of course, we have chatbot solutions too. And I definitely think that demo really speaks for itself. And I will say also too, we have tons of case studies on the Local IQ site that speak to some of the businesses that have worked with us and saw success with Dash. But did you have anything to add there with success you've seen so far, or any of the thought processes about how it makes it easier for customers? Anything you wanted to add there?
Yeah, absolutely. So our SMS agent is out today. Our voice agent, as I mentioned, you guys are getting a sneak peek. It comes out next month. What I can tell you from our SMS agent is customers are now allowing the SMS agent to handle almost a quarter or more of their inbound and conversations via SMS. So that means you're not on your phone, ticking away. So you're focused on your business. So 25% today of all SMS conversations and chat conversations are handled by the agent itself. That's 25% of your time back, right? But I'd also say number two to that is a lot of the initial feedback we've gotten is around call centers, whether they're handling your chat or they're handling your voice, right? These are folks who are in a different state, in a different location, in a different country, trying to represent your business on the phone. They don't understand your product. They don't understand your location. They don't understand what you can and can't do. They're basically taking a phone number down for you. Whereas our AI agent learns on the information you provide it to better keep that lead warm and get the information you need to convert that lead when you're ready to talk to them.
1000%. I really appreciate you, pulling up that example of like, the typical call center representative is arguably more impersonable than, what an AI agent is able to do, as it's able to pull that information live. So pretty amazing stuff. I truly appreciate you providing us all of these amazing insights. I definitely learned a lot, and I can't thank you enough for taking the time to join us. And for everyone on this call, thank you for hopping on. We do these webinars every month and sometimes twice a month. So keep your eyes peeled for our next webinar. I wish we could answer all of your questions, but I know we're getting close to time here. So I am going to wrap it up. But thank you all for joining. Thank you, Alex. And I hope you all have a wonderful day.
Thank you.